Somehow, they made it back to the dance to defend their crown as homecoming king. Yet they got punched in the mouth by a dude trying to relive his glory years. That Buccaneer is doing well in that regard, though. As they were humbled in the Super Bowl, the question remains as such. How do they keep things fresh to maintain AFC supremacy? Injuries rattled the offensive line, so the solution there is to revitalize it with shrewd free agent signings and draft pick investment. There isn't much else to do that doesn't involve maintaining the core. And if they can keep the goddamn illegal firearms out of their cars, they shouldn't have much trouble doing so. There will be rivals trying to usurp them, though. They are hungry for blood. And the same goes for a sacrifice in a team mascot in war paint. He was unceremoniously sent to retirement to overcompensate for past sins. Does the horse at least get a goddamn pension? The AFC seems to be top-heavy again, but there's a ton of competition in the middle. And that's where the intrigue will come into play. The divisions seem relatively cut and dry. Buffalo wins the AFC East, Cleveland gets the AFC North, Tennessee claims the AFC South, and Kansas City locks up the AFC West. But for wildcards, there's an argument to be made for many teams. For the three I'm choosing, I'm going with Baltimore, Miami, and the Chargers. It was very tough to pick anyone who stands out in that regard. So I'm hoping for a really exciting AFC this season. I have a gut feeling another 10-win team isn't going to make the playoffs again. Now this is the matchup I've wanted to see. The AFC's reigning juggernaut against the up-and-coming contender. The Browns are hungry, and this game is a true test of their staying power. They know they have the offensive might to keep up with the hypothetical Joneses. Pure talent at nearly every position, and holding serve against the Chiefs is testament to their rise in power. All the defense has to do is contain the Kansas City offense, and they have a win to steal at Arrowhead. You can take a guess and say that outcome did not happen. The Chiefs' offense is incredibly difficult to stop. You may have them contained, but you can't make mistakes that give them prime field position. I'm looking at you, Jamie Gillen. Then Mahomes pulls some bullshit, followed by Tyreek Hill pulling even more bullshit. It's the stuff out of Houdini. Watch them pull the lead out of their hat and have the Browns scrambling to recover. You have one shot to make it right. Don't pout, Baker. You lost, but there will be plenty of games to avenge your fuck-ups. Get up and keep fighting. Something is in the air in Baltimore tonight. It's the aura of Lamar Jackson transforming into a running back in front of our very eyes. Okay, I may be exaggerating a bit there, but going up against the Chiefs' offense, you can't take the foot off the gas. Kansas City is too potent to hope things just happen. The name of this game? What the fuck is team defense? There isn't a whole lot of it going on. A few plays here and there, but for the most part, game planning and execution went out the window in favor of something rivaling pickup football. Where the Ravens rush counter tackle, fumbled the ball in the air, and it's then caught by a wide receiver for a touchdown. Exactly how it was drawn up. Tackling and pass coverage, they went out for cigarettes and beer and never came back. So with one side of the ball neutralized, Baltimore just has to hope that their relentless rushing attack can make up the difference. I don't know how, but it did? Really, it did? Holy shit. Lamar Jackson may have regressed as a pocket passer, but the dude is still an electric runner. With his efforts, the Ravens have not only gotten close to the Chiefs, but have taken the lead. Now if they can hold it, I honestly can't tell. That Kansas City offense is extremely deadly.
Ball's out. Oh, the ball is out. He lost it.
If only their running backs didn't commit harakiri. But you have to make sure Mahomes doesn't get the ball back. Go for the kill.
Chiefs have to make sure they don't jump. And Jackson will get the first down.
The Ravens go from choking against the Raiders to coming back down 2 scores against the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson finally overcame his demons? Go home, Baltimore. You're drunk. You ever have those moments that you get so sucked in by narratives and past performances that you automatically assume that the worst is going to happen? We've seen this movie before with the Chargers. They look really good. They have a chance to go far this year. Yet they always find ways to fuck it up. LA's redheaded stepchild is an early 14-point lead, but they can't seem to keep their foot on the gas. It's not like they're not trying. They'll do everything they can to upend the class of the AFC. The Chargers will keep neck and neck with Kansas City, yet can't close the deal. For the second consecutive week, they massively fuck up a goal line situation. Another goddamn illegal shift penalty, followed by another sack, forcing a field goal. The script was becoming too damn predictable, but then the light emerges.
Rolling out, looking for options. Throws it off his back foot, and it's intercepted!
Mahomes has been getting too cocky with his throws, and it costs them big time here. Even then, the Bolts are facing a 4th and long with time winding down. They could go for the field goal, but remember who the quarterback is on the other side. They know the key. They have to be aggressive. It's the only way to beat the Chiefs. And it paid off. Incredibly bold moves to help them score another touchdown, and they win. Even after charging on the extra point, the other shoe didn't drop. Huh. That's stunning. Chiefs, I know you want to be worried about the sloppy offense and turnstile defense on display, but I'd be more concerned about Andy Reid. He had to be hospitalized after the game for feeling ill. Hopefully it's nothing, but considering the stresses of a head coaching job, please don't be the NFL's Terry Francona. The Chiefs are so goddamn lucky that they played the rotting carcass of the Eagles instead of a legit contender. They are sloppy. There are gaggles of college bitches at baby's first frat party that handle themselves with more poise than Kansas City has this season. Look past the surface stats. Look past the skill on offense and Mahomes pulling his brother's dignity out of his ass. You will see a group that vastly over-relies on this talent to win football games. We saw it against Baltimore. We saw it against San Diego's midlife crisis. We will see it far more in the future. Fantastic, you beat fucking Philadelphia. They breed on their own misery. It's a fetish for those people. The locally correct twist on cuckold porn. I have no faith in the Chiefs right now. I won't until they realize they can't just play backyard football and expect to make another Super Bowl. You're better than this, Chiefs. You can't just sign Josh Gordon and call it a day. You're not playing the Eagles every week, now act like it! Kansas City has been incredibly sloppy on both sides of the ball. And wouldn't you guess it, the weather wasn't the only thing that was shit at Arrowhead. The Chiefs are not playing up to their potential. Seeing them from drive to drive will show you that. Against weaker opponents, they'll win, but against legitimate contenders? Fuck right off and go directly to jail. Buffalo endlessly smashed them through tables, despite both the terrible officiating and weather conditions. Kansas City was so overmatched that they tried to keep the game on the pause screen to force a rage quit. There's a time limit there, boys. The NFL has to make money. This game will now return to its regularly scheduled ass-whooping. Despite endless ref ball on both sides, the Bills dominate their foes. You should have forced a disconnect, Chiefs. At least then the game wouldn't have counted. The Chiefs are such fucking ass this season. Everyone's fawning over their talent and Mahomes and Andy Reid, but I see right through them. And you should as well. The reskins are many things this year. A good football team does not appear to be one of them. Garbage play all around, Mahomes making careless mistake after careless mistake, a defense that only exists to be a background character to an offensive show? This isn't a fucking Super Bowl contender, this is a shell team that exists to put on a front of success. Tell me, should I feel good that the final result is deceiving? Wow, the Chiefs played for about 20 minutes. Let's all suck their dick because of talent. Plan the goddamn parade down Grand Boulevard. Don't worry though, their time for retribution will come. And it will be relentless. If you're going to be shocked that the Kansas City Chiefs are the purest of shit against a legitimate opponent coming off a statement win, say nothing. Were you paying attention to their games at all this season? If you had, you know that the Chiefs just imitated nearly every other botched performance of theirs this season. Patrick Mahomes is slowly morphing into Pat Pick Mablomes. He's getting far too cocky with his play. It's resulting in a famous Jameis Bakery impression. The rest of the offensive talent has taken a step back. And the defense? What defense? The shit they're putting out there is supposed to be a defense? Thought there was a placeholder for the real thing to be delivered in a few weeks. Tennessee was riding momentum and solidified it with a totalitarian boot stomping. What they just did was make a mockery of the NFL's so-called king. Kansas City can't rely on elite talent when that talent is bogged down by annoying family members, arrogance, or a lack of fresh blood. The Titans just took advantage of it. When's the Chiefs' wake-up call coming? It needs to happen quick. Look at the wreckage, you ignorant pricks! Look at it! Kansas City fucking sucks this year. This isn't even a take. This is a concrete fact. When you see this team, for as undisciplined, sloppy, and careless as they are, play on both sides of the ball, you can confirm it for yourself. The Chiefs are the preppy asswipe at school that thinks he's hot shit and tries way too hard to be one of the cool kids. They want to be flashy and wow you, but they keep fucking up the most basic of tasks. Why bother to simply throw a pass when you can no-look it on the run and sidearm it? And they get called out on their bullshit. No, it's not on the players for not playing to potential. It's on the entitled fan base for being toxic. The hate rattles them so much that they're tied at 17. And I sincerely hope the Chiefs lose. But wouldn't you guess timely penalties bail out their incompetence? This terribly thrown interception by Mahomes should have had everyone melt down, but wow, the G-men were conveniently offsides. The next play, a well-timed face mask penalty because New York is run by cavemen. Their defense bends but doesn't break and forces a field goal, but that's enough to finish them off. Oh my goodness, you beat the Giants? A team so banged up that their best blocker was probably Daniel Jones? Golly gee willikers, Batman, you barely escaped the clutches of the fat kid with a broken leg. Let me lavish all of the praise on you boys for one of the most undeserved wins I've seen this year. For my next trick, I'm gonna no-look this segment and have it miraculously finish at the top as well. Aaron Rodgers forced out of action due to COVID protocols, the much-maligned first-round pick known as Jordan Love will be getting his first start in the NFL. His mother and girlfriend are in attendance, in the peanut gallery right next to the ski slope. Let me put it this way. Jordan Love was no Aaron Rodgers. He was okay. That's about it. And that's not good enough to win games if nothing else is working. Mason Crosby malfunctioned and they put up a goose egg for a long time. The Chiefs were begging Love to beat them with his arm and he couldn't. This is a bottom 5 defense he's facing, by the way. And it's not just the Packers. Both of these offenses have been immunized from scoring points. Kansas City is the luckiest team in this fucking league right now. They've been able to escape their own incompetence and sloppiness by means of weak opponents and wonderful coincidences. Another undeserved win gets them over 500 again. Must be nice. Holy shit. The Kansas City Chiefs played up to their potential as of late? They didn't look sloppy as hell in all aspects of play? It's about goddamn time. I get it comes with a few asterisks. The Raiders have rolled snake eyes. They're in what looks to be another spectacular collapse thanks to off-field drama. And there was no way the Chiefs' offense was going to be held down for so long, but still, I'll give credit where credit is due. Kansas City needed to make a statement after weeks of flailing around aimlessly, and they did it. The Chiefs finally looked like the Chiefs of old, and it was desperately needed. Not only for the narratives to stop forming, but to take control of a bloodthirsty AFC West. Everyone else in their division lost. Finally, some goddamn order to this season. This was a crucial test for Kansas City. They had a great game last week, but that's only one matchup against an opponent prone to mid-season prolapses. Now, Dallas, though, they're a legitimate challenge. They may be without Amari Cooper due to COVID, but you can't take them lightly. The Cowboys can dice a suspect defense up 20 times before the end of the second quarter. But this year is different. The NFL tells us all to fuck our narratives. Dallas is being frustrated by the Chiefs' defense. The mighty star can do nothing against them. Some of it is due to situations of Dallas laying an egg in the middle of Arrowhead, but the defensive line dominated in the trenches all game long. It wasn't pretty to see. The Chiefs' offense was quite inconsistent, as it usually has been this season. But what they did was enough to take down a strong contender. I'm more surprised that the Cowboy offense was dispatched by Kansas City of all teams. Maybe Dallas was just that inept offensively again. For the second time in 3 weeks. What the hell? What the actual fuck nature of the AFC continues on further in an AFC West contest with more at stake than meets the eye. If Denver somehow pulls another one out of its ass, the division becomes even more fucked than it was before. Unfortunately for all of us perverts that enjoy chaos, Kansas City recognized that the Broncos have a terrible offense and responded accordingly. All you have to do to beat them is lay down a carrot behind a trap and wait for the horse to fall in to be jabbed to death. For example, look at this impeccable 11-minute drive that Denver is concocting. They're conservatively sliding down to their red zone, but they get distracted by a shiny gold object perched on a pedestal. When they grab for it, they're shot by a barrage of poison darts. A total waste. Kansas City was strong defensively, just like last week against Dallas. And all they had to do was let the Broncos simulate cock and ball torture to win. It's not just giving up a pick six. It's giving up a pick six to Daniel fucking Sorensen. Denver is the lady in the Geico commercial. The NFL is the fisherman dangling $1 in front of them. They think they're just this close to getting it, but no. No, they can't. Get ready, Mile High Stadium. Mediocrity's gonna be barging its way through those doors once again. How many times do we have to scream it to you? Do not fuck with the opposing team's logo before a game. Nothing but bad luck and divine retribution will come your way. The Raiders are now the latest example of this self-inflicted hell. Las Vegas got really cocky after beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead during COVID year, didn't they? Too bad for them that Kansas City is roaring back with a vengeance. The defense clamps and Patrick Mahomes returns to playing backyard football with ease. This whole game was so ghastly and brutal that I can't describe it without violating several public decency laws. With a decisive shredding and dicing, the Chiefs do something they haven't done all year. Play up to potential on both sides of the ball. It's not much against this sad sack of a unit, but it's a start. Raiders, if you feel shitty, the once almighty coin had you losing this game, so you can pretend it was your destiny to fail or something. Another classic Thursday night shit show with far more on the line than a simple win on the stat sheet. Remember that the Chargers upended the Chiefs at Arrowhead due to sloppy play. A win here would vault LA right into the division lead with tiebreaker in hand. It's critical that they do, so Brandon Staley's going to go all out. That includes his play calls. The kicker needs to stay on ice for less important situations. The problem with solely trusting math is that going for it every single time isn't ideal. The inevitable will blow up in your face. I respect Staley's consistency, but when you're down to your last play before half, just take the damn points. This is one of those times where analytics ends up backfiring due to poor execution. It wasn't like the Chiefs were doing much better on that front either. The pass Mahomes threw on 4th and 1, probably the worst I've ever seen from him. Mom, the game got drunk again! Can you get me a stomach pump so we can conclude this in a relatively quick manner? Not looking like the case with the kind of defense we're seeing in this matchup. I get the Chargers are in the lead, but look at the team they're facing. There's a reason why Staley tried to go balls out on 4th down, and it's because they can score at will, whenever they feel like it. Too bad the Charger offense can't start up again in response, and we head to overtime. Kansas City may be receiving the ball, but with how inconsistent their offense has been? Oh, wait a minute, I forgot. Travis Kelce transforms into Thor in critical situations.
Shy of Otis Taylor. Here is Kelce. Still going. Still going. Kelce. Good night. Touchdown. Chiefs win it.
Every time we give the Chargers any shot of securing something greater than their station, they find new and exciting ways to fuck it up. Not only did their over-aggressiveness cost them the game, it may have cost them the AFC West. The lesson here is simple. When you have one play left in the first half, take the goddamn points. I know their kicker would have probably missed it, but it's the thought that counts. What you're seeing is what happens to the Pittsburgh Steelers when they aren't aided by ref ball, incredible amounts of bullshit, or high-end talent. Fucking slaughter. The Chiefs had won 7 games in a row before this point and showed no signs of slowing down against the frauds in front of them. Kansas City was a machine in all 3 facets of play. An unstoppable offense complementing an elite defense buoyed by strong special teams play. This wasn't just a win for the Chiefs. It was a goddamn clinic. Without Travis Kelce, I might add. Pittsburgh, in a game they needed, simply lied down and died. Their play calling was bonkers. Flea flickers when the running game is running into a brick wall? Halfback sweeps on a 4th and 1 at your own 30? Are we watching the same game, or are the Steelers so arrogant that they think they can pull it off? Either way, Kansas City turned this into such a laugher that the CBS wing of the Steelers propaganda department switched out of this game early in the 4th quarter. It's well-deserved, but no one cares about Pittsburgh. What they do worry about is the revival of the Chiefs. It was looking ugly there for a bit, but they're back into form. This reward has been earned. For the 6th consecutive season, Kansas City has laid claim to the AFC West. Matchup no one had circled on the calendar back in September. The former heavyweight champion of the world against football's Little Mac. Mac's taken down most opponents thrown at him and now gets to face Mr. Sandman in a clash to prove his legitimacy. The offense will be furious. The Chiefs' attack is potent and relentless, and the Bengals will have to match blows step by step. But they have weapons to counter these waves of onslaughts. Jamar Chase's legend is growing as fast as his breakaway speed down the sidelines. Anyone who doubted his selection due to more pressing concerns can admit their sin. He is moonlighting as a demigod, not only breaking franchise records, but NFL records with amazing catch after amazing catch. He and Burrow are the keys to any chance at success. Kansas City's offense has been nigh unstoppable for weeks, but Cincy is hungry for their chance. Things are getting tight in the second half. What was once a 14-point deficit is now becoming a Bengal lead. They've successfully adjusted to their opponent's strategy of cover their best receivers one-on-one down the sidelines with dimes. The Chiefs did everything in their power to regain control of the game, but the Bengals' defense holds and forces a field goal to tie. Cincy has a chance to do something truly great. Something that nobody expected out of them coming into this season. and all they need to do is stamp it into reality. It's usually the darkest before the dawn, and it has risen with Chase on a 3rd and 27. I feel like I'm watching the same play over and over again, but this is it. They're so close to the goal line, but they just can't push through. It's 4th down, and the Bengals have chosen to be bold. They're going for it.
Here they go. They go for it. 4th and goal. Burrow. First option not there. Gives it up to Mixon. Looks for an opening. Oh, it's going to be close. There's a flag down.
Oh, Lord, offsetting penalties. We have to do this bullshit again?
Just throw the fade and live with it. Burrow. Rolling out. Looking. He almost got hit. Throws it. Flag in the end zone.
Insane luck. They gave Cincy a new set of downs. They can run down the clock. They can win it with a chip shot. What mysteries does Pandora's box have to offer?
McPherson. The kick is good. And the Bengals have won the AFC North.
The motherfucking madmen, they pulled it off. David has taken down Goliath. In front of a once broken faithful, the Bengals have secured their biggest win in quite possibly decades. Ain't this the story of two opposite franchises or what? One gets all the damn breaks in the world and the other only gets broken dreams. The Broncos have nothing to play for but continued frustrations. It's pretty much been their damn season. Outstanding defense held underwater to drown by the chains of offensive ineptitude. Kansas City was right where they wanted them too. The Chiefs have been dominating time of possession, but time and time again Denver's defense would quash them. Somehow, I know it's shocking to say, their offense was scoring points. They were moving down the field in the 4th quarter. 7 minutes off the clock. Their running game has been impeccable. Before they nearly shock the world, a blitzer blows up a play before it starts. The ball miraculously lands in a Chiefs defender's hands, and he runs it back almost 90 yards for a touchdown. All but ripped the wind in their arms from their stiff, decaying body. If that isn't Denver's season in one play, I don't know what the fuck is. I'll give an honorable mention to kicking a field goal down by 7 in the 4th, but this is now the Chiefs' 13th straight win against Denver. Perhaps if the Broncos D wasn't paid to drop every potential interception of Mahomes, maybe things might have been different. This has been a season. So many twists and turns that it's hard to conceive with the naked eye. If you were looking at this year seriously, it was absolutely exhausting. But do you know the true bounty to cherish? The memes. It was fucking gold for this economy. Thanks to incredible collapses, fantastic comebacks, Urban Meyer's coaching tenure, and whatever the fuck Antonio Brown did in the Jets game. If the bigger games are going to be as fucked as the regular season is, I expect plenty of shenanigans to come in the future. Get ready. The NFL playoffs are about to begin. The world was a much better place when the Chiefs were struggling to get anything going in September and October. Patrick Mahomes getting too cocky with his throws, the offense out of sync, the patented Chiefs defense rearing its ugly head. All of us were planning the inevitable TikTok video dancing on their grave. But then Kansas City managed to adjust and correct their mistakes. Moving Chris Jones to the interior defensive line has made the Chiefs defense significantly stronger. The offense, while still feast or famine, has the ability to put up points in bunches. How couldn't you with Mahomes slinging it as effectively as he does? Talent oozes throughout their roster, especially at the skill positions. Even then, many are praying for their downfall. A bunch of people are using all of their mana to summon a nuke to fall on Arrowhead as they play the Steelers to end the misery of both franchises. But the Chiefs refuse to submit to the petty whims of inferior mortals. They are as boom or bust as it gets, and few will have the willingness to face them when they are at peak efficiency. Please lose in the first round. The memes will be fucking hilarious if you do. When you think of the greatest games in NFL history, what do you think of? The catch, the ice bowl, the immaculate reception, 28-3, the comeback. There's a common theme. One team's glory is another's tragedy, regardless of how well they played. This past Sunday, we had one of those matches. Normally, I tend to go for the more tongue-in-cheek games that are so terrible that they're worthy of song. But this one, this is a contest we'll be talking about for a very long time to come. This was true greatness. There was only one location of such history and pride to be worthy of hosting such an event: Arrowhead Stadium. I know it's called GEHA Field at Arrowhead now, but I don't give a shit. We know it as Arrowhead like we know Buffalo's home as Ralph Wilson Stadium. It has been the home of many great games in the past. Some great for the Kansas City Chiefs, some outright tragic for them. This year, the goal is to maintain their pace at the top of the mountain. Despite struggles in the early part of the season, the Chiefs overcame their issues and adjusted back to the offensive dynamo they once were. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you seriously believe they had a shot? Don't make them laugh. The sheer audacity of such a statement as Patrick Mahomes throws spirals for majestic touchdowns is a punitive measure. Last week may have been a cupcake matchup, but their next opponent will be a heavyweight contender. The Buffalo Bills know all about Kansas City. They came to this sacred ground last season in the AFC Championship game. The Bills were hoping for an upset, but the Chiefs were simply the better team that day. A season later, they have picked themselves up off the ground and are eager for revenge. Josh Allen has been a man possessed as of late. He may be one of the few things keeping the offense running, but he's very, very hard to stop, both in the air and on the ground. Poor New England, no one cries. Their absolute destruction in Buffalo was a delight to those that were kept down by a Patriot boot for decades. The time of old empire is up. Now it's their turn. They want the Chiefs. They want to prove they are the new leaders of the AFC. Everyone has this game circled on the calendar. A clash worthy of a far more prestigious title than an AFC Divisional round match. This is worthy of at least 20 of those matinee skirmishes. Night falls on Kansas City, and the match is to begin. The Chiefs are slight favorites and many are anticipating a good matchup. But little did they all know they would get that and more. Buffalo receives the ball first, and as they move down the field, they run into a 4th and short situation. The Bills know what to do. Trust the offense. So go for it they do. And Josh Allen converts. The first salvo has been fired. With this momentum, Buffalo chips away at Kansas City's advantage thanks to smart play calling and deception. But there's another 4th down situation at hand. If you did it near midfield, why not do it at the goal line? Devin Singletary responds to the challenge. A touchdown is their reward. A statement of authenticity. Buffalo has come to play. There's a reason why they had to go balls out on that drive. Patrick Mahomes is fucking Houdini. It does not matter what they throw at him or how they scheme. He will overcome it, by either his arm or his legs. Buffalo's defense is strong. Some say one of the strongest in football. But Mahomes does not care. He will lead the Chiefs to a touchdown in response with another impressive drive. Anything Allen can do, he can do better. Josh Allen took this as a challenge. You think the mere parlor tricks of mortals are enough to bedazzle the Bills' offense? Will any defense ever make a stop? That answer is a very shocking yes. Defense? In this NFL? That's probably illegal. Worst of all, Buffalo has to punt. For the first time in these playoffs. Forcing a punter to work? That's also probably illegal. Pinned at their 1-yard line, the Chiefs can do nothing and are forced to punt as well. This needs to stop for the power of offense, but Buffalo is stuffed as well. We must be patient. It's only a matter of time before these potent attacks eventually break through. And Mahomes is the first to answer the call. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back from injury, and every man is needed on the battlefield. The goal line is the only thing standing in their way. Do you think you can sack Mahomes? Of course not. Touchdown, Kansas City. The Wyoming howitzer sits on the sidelines and devises his next plan. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock, it does not matter. Wave after wave of assaults tiring both groups and exciting the crowds gathered to watch an air show. Field goals need not apply. Only touchdowns are acceptable. For the other side will not be as benevolent with their charges. The defenses must have agreed, as Gabriel Davis was wide open for a touchdown. The man responsible for defending him slipped. Good, there was far too much defense happening for it to continue. But Kansas City can still counter before the armistice of halftime. They have made it to field goal range, but Harrison Butker's leg betrayed him. He shanks the kick. We are tied at half. As tension and uneasiness fills Chiefs and Bills fans, both franchises are emboldened to strike with everything they have. Air raids are seemingly impossible to stop. Worse, both defenses are without key components. Buffalo has been without Tre'Davious White since Thanksgiving due to injury, and Kansas City has lost the Honey Badger for the rest of the game as well. Concussions are a bitch. To start the third quarter, Mahomes will have the chance to prove himself first. He is managing well, but a 4th and 1 impedes his progress. Is impede the right word? We know he's going to convert it. Just like he impeccably converted this third down with magic and deception, but there's a flag for holding. Drive officially killed. They must bring out the field goal unit to go up by 3. It would be shocking, but something even more stunning happens. A 3 and out. Kansas City's defense managed to hold. The Chiefs have a chance to bust this game open. The rushing attack will do the work here. On top of the blistering runs already done, McCole Hardman takes a sweep to the left and bursts through the closing gates. Touchdown, Kansas City. It would have been perfect, but Butker's leg betrayed him again. He should really consider cutting it off for good luck. Concern is in everyone's face but Josh Allen. His response? Heat-seeking piss missile. Directly into the enemy's weak point for maximum damage. Even Gabriel Davis is stunned as to how that happened. It's now a 2-point game. Patrick Mahomes can't be one-upped in his own stomping ground. Things go smoothly until the end of the third quarter, but then they are stopped. In the most surprising twist today, Kansas City punts. I didn't know they could do that in opposing territory. I also didn't know that the Chiefs secondary could hold up and force a coverage sack on Josh Allen. Josh Allen can be sacked? As Buffalo is forced to make their punter work, now we get to see the human joystick that is Tyreek Hill. Look at him make the other team so burn their legs melt off. He takes this punt all the way back to the Bills' red zone. If there was a time for Buffalo's defense to make a stand, it's here. On 3rd and 1, Travis Kelce is under center, but Buffalo holds firm. They are stuffed for a loss. The Bills ain't dead yet. Not when they're only down by 5. Josh Allen has just under 9 minutes left, but you know what they say. The best defense is by holding on to the ball. They're trying to make sure that the Chiefs don't get it back. Or if they do, it's with as little time on the clock as possible. Methodical, precise, unrelenting. That is the offensive style here. Everyone knows you can't give Mahomes time. Even a sliver of it. But now it's pressure time. 4th and 4 and a field goal won't cut it. You know who solves this riddle? Josh fucking Allen. They seriously thought they could sack him. That's a funny story to hear. Although they can tackle Devin Singletary in the backfield to get to the 2-minute warning. In an omen from the heavens, a Chiefs fan rushed onto the field and was suplexed to hell itself. He got on TV though, it's all good. However, that's not what's important. It's 4th and 13. I wonder if Josh Allen has an answer for this.
Fires it into wide open! Remarkable! Touchdown!
Piss missile. Josh goddamn Allen to a wide open Gabriel Davis to give Buffalo the lead again. Davis was so unstoppable he juked the defender out of his fucking shoes. Just cut them off, he isn't worthy of them anymore. But they'll need to convert the 2-point conversion.
Allen could try to make it a 3-point lead. Circling around at the 18. Swings it back to the end zone.
Like every good hero, Josh Allen has plot armor. He could have 6 men rushing him, yet somehow escape it and throw a strike to the end zone. But let's just say that Kansas City has a trick or two up their sleeves to counter.
Down the middle. It's Hill.
Save the
In the open. That comes it up.
This is why the Bills needed Tre'Davious White. He might have been the only hope to stop a cheetah from sprinting down the field. We can ignore Tyreek's obvious taunting penalty because it's on the offense and everyone hates that damn rule. But the question now, did they leave Josh Allen too much time? He's down by 4, but that defense has to be absolutely gassed after that last drive. And Allen will make sure it's so. The Chiefs' D has seemingly been awestruck by Bills' might. I don't blame them for that. Re-cue the music. I smell another clutch moment coming up. Career-defining magic. Exposing a tired secondary to get Gabriel Davis his 4th touchdown of the day. A postseason record. This game proves it. The NFL is king. And now you see why. What other sport offers such incredible bullshit that captivates us all to addiction? Just make this game the Super Bowl. Forfeit every other game and call the winner of this one the champion. It deserves it. But now Mahomes has his biggest test yet. Only 13 seconds to get into some semblance of a field goal range. He does have all 3 timeouts, but it's a challenge that is near impossible. The good news for him is that Buffalo's scheming is garbage. They're leaving swaths of the middle of the field wide open. Tyreek Hill sprints nearly 20 yards to get them closer, but they'll need another miracle to get them into field goal range.
To have one of those long-range Hail Mary kicks.
Gotta throw it right away, right now to someone in the middle.
Down the middle. Oh my goodness! It's going to be a 48-yard attempt.
How does a music track burn out? It's fucking digital. We can't just have Travis Kelce make an incredible play with nothing behind it. So be it. All they need is for Butker to make this kick and they're set.
So hundreds of thousands around the planet. The kick is good!
His leg did not betray him this time. A 2-minute segment that will be told in legends. 25 points scored in 2 minutes. Over 45 yards of offense in 2 plays with 13 seconds left. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? This is true greatness. Worthy of 10 greatest games in 1. Best for all neutral parties, we need overtime to decide a victor. Josh Allen has been undefeated in overtime coin tosses. Can he do it again?
Buffalo, you're still the visiting team. What is your call? We have a coin, heads and tails. Tails. Tails is the call. Tails is
This
the call.
feels huge, right, with how good these offenses are?
This might have been the biggest mistake Allen's made in these playoffs. He's had one of the best postseason stretches the NFL has ever seen. Yet he'll have to rely on the defense for him to get the ball again. Kansas City knows what they need to do. Finish them off. If they get possession back, they will surely be done, especially without Tyrann Mathieu. There might not be much energy left on either side, but this is truly sudden death. They're going to give everything they've got to finish this game and move on. Both sides are. What we're seeing are the stories told in days of old. Gladiators in the arena, bloodied and bruised by the scars of war. Patrick Mahomes is advancing. The Chiefs can end it here, with a precise pass to the end zone.
Looking to the end zone for the win! He caught it! Ball game!
An epic has concluded. Travis Kelce has called game. Both teams were worthy of glories beyond compare, but the football gods demanded that one be eliminated. The pain in Buffalo is insurmountable. They played their hearts out in a quest for vengeance, yet still came up short. The Chiefs once again escaped certain peril to emerge victorious. And what a victory it was for them! Overcoming the loss of the Honey Badger and a field eager to trip up their secondary. Patrick Mahomes becoming a man possessed by demons of the gridiron to counter Josh Allen's holy light. And it's enough for Arrowhead to host another game against Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game. All Buffalo can do is ask themselves what they did wrong. The obvious answer is the terrible defensive scheming on the final 2 plays with 13 seconds left. Deep prevent guarding the sidelines when the Chiefs had all 3 timeouts. Not a good look when their receivers are that wide open to trek through swaths of field. Some argue that the Bills should have squib kicked it to them. But that was a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If they squib it, sure a few seconds are shaved off, but they're starting out in much better field position than the 25. If they still manage to get into field goal range, people are asking why they didn't just kick it out of the end zone. There was little they could have done there. The other argument is in the overtime rules themselves, which is ironically how the Chiefs lost to the Patriots in the 2019 AFC Championship game. Kansas City proposed changes to the overtime rules in response, but Buffalo was one of the teams that rejected it. Well, the tables truly have turned. The calls have come from fandom to change them again, but I don't believe they should. Football is a team game. If a team can't properly defend against an offensive attack with 13 seconds left or in overtime, the offense shouldn't get a chance to counter. All that would do is water down defenses more than they already are. There has to be some risk if you're unable to secure a victory in 60 minutes. And the coin toss is that risk. If Buffalo got a chance to score, this game would probably still be going on. We'd be playing this 300 years later in an endless war of attrition. Plus breaks for lunch. Buffalo will sting and drown their sorrows in liquor, but they are so close to greatness that it is intangible. They will be back here again. I don't see this as another failure for them, but the next step to solidifying their supremacy. Allen and Mahomes will fight in many more matches in the future, like Manning and Brady did before them and Bradshaw and Stabler before them. Buffalo will get their victories in time. I am assured of it. Regardless of alleged controversy, this is a game that will be talked about for generations. A name will eventually come for this classic. Perhaps something much better than the assault at Arrowhead or 13 seconds to salvation. Please don't let it be those. I trust those more intelligent than I to come up with that. Let's keep it simple. Do you know what we will call this for now? The greatest game. Not in the tongue-in-cheek way, but as a stamp of legitimacy. Praise be to everyone who played in this match. You will all have your place in football Valhalla. We really thought we were safe. We thought Full Reed had finally laid dormant after lifting a Lombardi. We were lulled into a false sense of security. The Super Bowl had merely delayed the timer. It's one thing to lose a hard-fought game against an underdog, but when you repeat the same damn scenarios... Let me see here. The Chiefs holding a 21-3 lead in the first half against the team they were favored by 7 to beat. Then falling apart due to inept play calling, cocky execution, and the defense breaking at the worst possible times. This is the same fucking thing that happened to them against Tennessee in 2018. They fell into identical traps they encountered early in the year. The offense got way too fucking cute. Patrick Mahomes channeled his inner Cliff Kingsbury and transported his quarterbacking skills to another dimension. Whatever was left of the secondary after last week's thrashing was ripped to further shreds. They choked retro style as Andy Reid cries into a cheeseburger. But wait, they secured the real prize. They won the overtime coin toss. They don't need that pesky Super Bowl, they already got one of those at home. Cincy upended them in one of the most stunning upsets since last week, but in their minds they lost the war and won the battle. I can't wait for the coin toss banner unveiling.
We blew it, Pants. What do you mean, we?